So we go in, we buy our stuff, and we're out in, I don't know.
I'd say 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Pops.
And we come out the door, and Wade was the one that noticed it.
I said, Mark, our truck's gone. We just got robbed.
All right, welcome back to another edition of the special report version of the Drury Outdoors 100% Wild podcast, brought to you by Deercast. I'm Matt Drury, your host. We are co-hostless today because this is breaking news. We had to get on the air as soon as we heard about it. We have Mark Drury and Wade Robinson joining us from somewhere, parts unknown out west. Mark, Wade, what's happening?
You name it, man. It's happening, and it's breaking news. I mean, it's like I told you the other day on the phone. It's never happened in 36 years of Drury Outdoors history. What happened to Wade and I the other morning? So,
okay, so let's back up a little bit. You guys are on a little bit of a post-season, post-Midwest season turkey tour just for fun. You're kind of, you guys unwind from the toughest, grueling season, like 3 to 4 week grind by going to do more turkey hunting. So right out of the gate, I think you guys are a little crazy. I don't know how you're waking up every day, this many days in a row, but so you're going out, you went out west and you're just having fun, right? You guys are out there to hit a couple different states and just kind of unwind from the Missouri and Iowa turkey season by going out west. That sets us up, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, in the Midwest, we're hosting someone literally every day, you know, and out here, it's just Wade and I hunting together, you know, filming each other and so on and so forth. So it's just us. And we've got some buddies we meet along the way out here, but we're not hosting guests and whatnot. So it is us just relaxing. And we love it out here, the pine trees and all the different scenery and the Merriams, the gobbling. I mean, it's just a lot of fun hunting out here. So we're going to hit 3 states while we're here.
And you guys, I mean, if anybody's following along on the Drury Outdoors social media, or, you know, you see some of the iPhone hunts that you guys have captured from out west. So they're always pretty incredible. But that's not what we're here to talk about. So you mentioned in 36 years of Drury Outdoors history, something happened to you guys out west that's never happened in our 3+ decades, right?
And it explains the reason why these kills are coming to you from a cell phone.
All right, so lay it out for me, guys.
Well, it was we landed and rented a truck and headed about an hour and 15 away to hunt the first evening. And I filmed Wade kill a turkey the first evening.
Yep.
And then went back, grabbed dinner, went to bed. What we roosted?
Well, we roosted 3 birds.
3 birds.
3 birds roosted.
And we couldn't wait to get back out for it the first morning of the hunt. So,
and it was a brand new area too that we had went and scouted and found 3 birds roosted. So we were pretty excited about that to get back out there the following morning.
Yeah, it's an open area, and we were like, oh, 3 birds seemingly were pretty vocal. Maybe they've been hunted, maybe they haven't. So we get, a short night's sleep, get back up, get in our rental truck, which is a Ram Maroon 2024 Laramie. And we go to a Love's.
Yep. Love's truck stop.
Love's truck stop to grab a coffee and a soda and a breakfast sandwich.
Just across the interstate from our hotel.
Yeah.
So not far.
Not far. So we go in and we pull in the parking lot. There's nobody around. There's one white car in a handicap slot. And that was it in the whole lot. So we go in, we buy our stuff, and we're out in, I don't know.
I'd say 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Pops.
And we come out the door, and Wade was the one that noticed it.
I said, Mark, our truck's gone. We just got robbed.
So
you knew right away, huh?
Well,
there was no
there.
Then there was no cars in the parking lot.
Wasn't there. Well, still the white car was there.
Yeah.
So I immediately called 911. It's 425, 435, somewhere in there. I called 911 and reported it stolen. Of course, we're out in the middle of BFE, and I doubt there were many officers on duty, frankly. But gave him the description, told him it just happened from the surveillance footage. we could see which way the truck exited the gas station and then the direction it went in town. So we gave him that, but to no avail. None of the officers saw it. He had everybody on high alert immediately. That was within 5 minutes of it being stolen. Authorities were notified. So now the terrible part about this is day one, morning one. We hadn't even fully unpacked yet. And Wade could go over a bunch of the stuff that we lost.
Yeah, I mean, Mark had a couple duffel bags still in the truck, had our luggage. Winchester shotgun, about 40 rounds of ammunition, 2 pairs of loophole binos.
One of which was the rangefinder.
Yeah, the range HDs. So
the other set was brand new.
Yeah, you bought it.
A BX4 that I just bought for turkey hunting because I had lost my normal pair.
And Mark also for this trip, he just went and bought a brand new iPhone 16 Pro Max. Was it 36 hours before?
Yeah, the day before.
Yeah, so 36 hours old. He didn't switch his plan over because we were just going to film on it for this trip, and then he was going to switch it all over once we got back. As everybody knows, that's such a process to switch over a plan. So he just grabbed the phone. It's unlocked. So it's basically just a phone, no passcode on it, no nothing. Got a brand new iPhone 16 Pro Max.
About $1,800.
$1,800. It had a case on it. We had a XA70, a beautiful new Canon with us. We had 2 Hero 13 Blacks from GoPro with us. We had point of view cameras, Tacticams with remotes.
Decoys, avian decoys.
Yeah, we had a trophy tom, a Jake and a hen, HDR Jake, HDR hen, gone, a pair of casual shoes for me. Oh, and in addition to that, the clothes we're wearing right now are the only clothes we have with us. They were the clothes we had on that morning. We're still wearing because they took everything else. The rest of our clothes were in the truck.
Stinky.
Turkey vest.
Well, we washed them. We went to a laundromat, or actually the hotel had a place where we could pay to do laundry. Yeah. My turkey vest that I've had for years, my fan that I've had for years, my box call, my favorite freaking striking slate call gone.
Luckily he had his mouth calls around his neck. So he was able to call for us because
I had these around my neck. Otherwise we would have had no turkey calls, but I had 4 mouth calls in here.
Yeah.
So
we're able to still have those. But we lost basically everything that we brought. 70% of everything we brought had just my normal clothes, few sets of those back at the hotel. Mark had a few sets back at the hotel. But other than that, just the clothes on our backs.
Not to mention the truck. I mean, we lost a rental truck that we hadn't had it 24 hours.
Yeah,
2024
$80,000 truck.
Yeah.
Gone.
So that's so when something like that happens, and they're not finding that truck, obviously, like it's gone. It's I'm sure that shit happens quite often.
Unbeknownst to us, it does happen quite often. We're from small town southern Iowa. We don't see that very often, but out here, after we got to talking to people, it happens more often.
Well, I mean, southern Iowa, like I made the comment the other day, there probably hadn't been a truck stolen in 3 decades in that county, and you leave stuff unlocked and whatnot. And that's what happened in this case. We left it unlocked and the keys in it, and that's what happened. It's a lesson learned, but we were literally in there for 2 or 3 minutes. It's just
at 4:30 in the morning.
With no one around.
Run in real quick, run back out, and we did that, but the truck was
You had to run a lot after that.
we grabbed our coffee and our soda and our biscuits that we had bought for the pre-hunt, meal, and we hiked back across the interstate to our hotel. And
we produced it on the cell phone. It was the last camera we had, so we did some videos of it. It'll come out in probably in turkey season 26. We produced it for that. So
we might have to get a clip for the podcast. Just one clip for the aftermath.
Well, we didn't eat those breakfast sandwiches. We were sick, boy.
Yeah, sure. So, okay. So you lose everything, pretty much all your hunting gear, all the gun, the ammo, most importantly, the gun and ammo. So then what are you going to, what'd you do? Cause you're at the very beginning of, how long is that trip? How many days?
9-day trip.
9-day trip.
Day 2 of a 9 or day 1.5.
Day 1. So we walked back to the hotel. The police then came, and I was on with 911 multiple times, talking to them through it all. And then the police came for a report. So we talked to them, and we really only knew one person in that area. And I called him, and we didn't know him that well. We met him a couple years ago because, we really don't know that many people in that town. So he was nice enough to run us back to the airport, back to the rental car place that we had just rented from some 20 hours before, or maybe 18 hours before. So we show up back at the airport, and we're like, we'd like to report a missing vehicle.
And with another car.
So
how'd that combo go?
good. They weren't surprised. They were like, "Oh, we've dealt with stolen vehicles before." We were like, "Wow,
we're not accustomed to this."
Yeah, we were like, "Okay." So we had to rent another vehicle and then start the process of,
getting our gear back.
Yeah. Well, that and hooking the rental car up with the police and the police report, and then calling insurance to find out how we handle this, because we really didn't know, because it included a firearm plus ammunition plus a vehicle that wasn't ours. It was a rental. So it was a bit of a learning experience that we've learned a lot from. It's been a very expensive process, I can tell you that. And it's getting more and more expensive by the day based on the more I learn.
Oh, that's no good. So,
No.
So was there a Cabela's, a Bass Pro, a store somewhere out there that you guys could go and get your gear?
Yes, we went. I actually texted JP with Bass Pro, and he was out turkey hunting at the time. And I said, I need some help, because my concern was
getting a firearm in a different state. Because like in Utah, I tried to buy one and I couldn't because I'm not a resident there. So my question to JP was, can I buy a gun here? And he said, yes, very conservative state, not a problem. So he then took the next step and made the store aware that we were coming in. So we got there, and the store manager met us, and he understood, the tragedy that had just occurred, losing all of our gear. So he really, really helped us try and find all of our shopping list of what all we needed. And they were extremely helpful for us.
Extremely helpful finding everything. I mean, we didn't even have a knife to clean turkeys with, so we had to buy a knife, and we didn't have a pen to fill out our
They
permits.
handed us their pen.
They gave us their pen because we need to fill out a permit, just all the little things, decoys, ammunition, the gun. They didn't have the exact gun we had, but they had a Winchester SXP. We wanted an aftermarket choke. We got that. What else did we buy?
We bought a HDR hen.
An HDR hen. We bought a gunsling.
And the cameras, GoPro.
Yeah,
we bought one.
GoPro.
We went to Best Buy then and bought one GoPro. They didn't have like an XA70, of course, so we were like, well, we're going to try and produce a show with a cell phone and a GoPro. And that's become our story, right? Our truck got stolen, and now we're producing on a cell phone and a GoPro. Let's see how we do. So
how's it going so far?
Great.
Pretty good. I mean,
Yeah.
we've done, I think, better than we expected, and the turkeys have helped. And we've just kind of set up a little different to try and get really close footage. And we've got some amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Awesome.
I mean, there's one clip that we posted already. I don't know if you saw that one that comes right in your face and Wade's on him. I'm on him. That was one of them. So it's going to be a pretty cool episode.
Nice. Well, man, I hate that happened. That's tough, but I guess the learning lesson here is, you can't be too safe and leave your keys in your vehicle. You never know.
Yeah.
You can't be in too much of a hurry. And, we had birds roosted, and we were like, we'll be in and out of here in a second. And that's what happened.
It ended up putting us behind by half a day.
So
Yeah.
do you extend the back end of the trip, or you just lose a half day?
We just try and hunt harder during the middle parts of the day, whenever normally we might be taking a break or whatever.
Yeah,
We've literally
we haven't taken a break since that happened.
just trying to catch up.
We're starting every morning at we're leaving the hotel by 4:15, and then we're laying down about 9:30 or 10 every night. So there's some long.
That's a long ass day.
Yeah. So like the whole unwinding thing that you mentioned earlier at the beginning of the podcast, I guess it is to a degree, but it's still,
we're hunting harder here than we do at home. Certainly.
Well,
and this whole incident made us have to work that much harder to succeed and get through this whole Western trip.
luckily, when you get back home, there's going to be lots of planting to do. Of course, you guys probably are already pretty planted.
Actually, we're all done with all that.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Are you?
Yep.
Yeah.
Good.
Actually all popped up and everything's looking good. So
Nice. Well, so that's the breaking news. Yeah, we talked. You called me the other day, and I was like, "Oh my God, the story was unbelievable." You had the surveillance footage, and you guys obviously captured some good stuff with your cell phones along the way. So we mentioned jumping on the podcast real quick and just kind of doing a short episode, a short and sweet, because you guys got to get back to hunting. But I thought the audience would enjoy the story from out west.
Yeah, it's been a story, and just working through the whole process now with the rental car company and insurance and the police. Like I said, it's been a real learning curve, and I've learned that I was improperly insured. So it's getting more and more expensive by the day, I can assure you.
That's a real tough lesson to learn.
Well, yeah. Who checks on stolen rental vehicles ahead of time,
Man, that sucks.
Yes. Yeah, it does. So it's been a learning curve.
Mark may be the owner of a brand new stolen Ram 1500 Lamborghini.
I will be
out west that you don't get to drive.
No, we don't even,
Yeah. So it's an absolute cluster mess.
Yeah. The firearm side would be the thing that obviously the truck's the expensive part. The firearm side is kind of concerning. It's like, what if it's involved in a crime down the, like obviously they're criminals that have it. Yeah. So that's,
yeah. Well, whoever stole it, I'm sure when they pulled over and got to their safe space and they went through that truck, I bet they about crapped when they saw all the stuff that was in there.
They hit the jackpot.
They hit the jackpot for cameras and phones. And, my gear list is a little over 10 grand of what we lost. So, they got the truck value plus the gear.
Yeah. I mean, those were 40 rounds of TSS, Winchester TSS, wasn't it? Or was it Longbeard XR?
20 and 20.
20 and 20. Yep. Yeah. So that's expensive right there.
Yeah. And we brought extra, just, sighting in a gun or a gun getting knocked off or multiple misses or whatever, do we need 40 rounds? No, but be prepared. You know how that is, Matt. You got to make sure you're prepared for any situation. Well, I should have left half of it back at the room.
We're going to have to call Winchester and see if we can at least get that value, get that replaced.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks, man.
Big shout out to our friends at Bass Pro, man. They absolutely laid out the red carpet for us, and they felt bad it happened to us, and they really helped us fill that shopping list out and remind us of other stuff we needed too. So
it's funny because we had shipped you guys just not as part of this, just because we got new turkey vests that we wanted to test out for to launch next year. And so we shipped them out there, and you're like, no, I don't think they came. And so I looked, and I was like, actually, they just like 15 minutes ago, the tracking number says they arrived, and you got there, they were there, and I said, hey, glass half full.
Just in time.
Got new turkey vests.
We're actually wearing them for warmth because we don't have many layers. So it's like, I want the warmer one. It's chilly in the mountains in the morning, I'll tell you that.
I bet.
We're not dressed the part anymore because we don't have much. So it's been interesting, but it's also been very productive. I mean, the birds have been acting right, and we've killed several birds, and there's some great footage. And I think people will enjoy the episode once we get it produced.
Yeah. HS Strut and the DoD Signature Series of calls puts the sound of spring at your fingertips. From the first owl hoots of the morning to the last quiet clucks and purrs in the moment of truth. Be ready for any calling situation the Turkey Woods can throw at you with HS Strut. All right, so this is a special edition of the Real Wild Clip of the Day. We have the surveillance footage from out west where the truck's getting stolen. So as you kind of scroll through it here, you see the guy's backing out. He doesn't even have his door shut, and he's pulling off, not realizing that he's got $10,000 worth of equipment in there, and a new gun and ammo and cameras and everything else, phone. So when you guys were in, were they able to pull this up in front of you like pretty quickly? The surveillance?
Yeah, immediately.
So what did they say?
Well,
they were just in the spirit of trying to help us, I think.
Yeah, for sure. And unfortunately, like, we parked literally in the only spot that you couldn't see like the person get in. We parked in the only hidden spot in the whole parking lot, unfortunately, and unbeknownst to us. So unfortunately we couldn't see the person come get in the truck. We just see the truck zoom off.
So our assumption is whoever took it was either hiding around the corner at 4:30 in the morning and came in and got in it, or they were in the white car that was in the handicap slot and got out and got in it.
Because it was quick, like literally 30 seconds. We walk in the door, 30 seconds later, the truck's taken off.
So with the occupants of that white car preceded us into the truck stop, and it was two young ladies, probably in their late 20s, if we had to guess. They were in the restroom while we were in. Then when this all happened, of course, it's chaotic. We're in, letting the people know. I'm on the phone with 911, trying to talk to them. These two young ladies come out of the bathroom and they understand what's going on, right? They hear, Wade said, our truck just got stolen.
Yeah.
And they start grabbing his camo and talking to him going,
where did you get this? Yeah.
Huh. Did you get it at Shields? And they're asking all these weird questions. Like, they're sitting camo. Like they weren't, they didn't look like hunters. So, we reprocessed all this after the fact. In the moment, we didn't think much of it.
But it felt like they might've been holding us up.
Yeah. Were they trying to stall me from talking to 911? Because they kept interrupting me and Wade, trying to talk to each other too.
Yeah.
Huh.
So did that person come out of their car and get in? I mean, there's no way to know because the surveillance video didn't show it, but it's possible. It was a weird conversation. Why they were interrupting us, I don't know, at 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah, and like it seemed like they had been up all night. Like they weren't near as tired looking as we were whenever we walked in there. It was just a odd situation at that hour of a morning.
Couple ladies of the night just out looking to see a couple hunters in awesome looking camo. Find out where they got it.
Can't point fingers, but we relayed that to the officer. They said, we're going to go look at the surveillance video to see if we know these two young ladies. They go, we may know who they are. Like they were like, so what happened? We don't know. I mean, they're not going to follow up with their investigation with us, but where it leads to, who knows? I don't know.
Hopefully a Ram pickup truck, but I have a feeling it's probably already stripped down and
it went so real quick because it sure didn't get seen anywhere.
Well, that sucks. I'm sorry. That's a tough way to do a special edition of that podcast, but we thought that people would, I don't know, find the story interesting anyway. So wanted to share it. Yeah, certainly. Yeah. It's, like I said, it's never happened in 36 years. I hope it never happens again. I wouldn't wish it on anybody, not on a hunting trip. It's a bum deal. You know what? Anybody listening, the audience listening, we'd love to hear your stories of the craziest, things that have happened to you when you're out on a hunting trip like this. Feel free to comment below and leave us a note, send us an email, whatever. We'd love to hear some of those, and I'd love to share them maybe in a follow-up podcast. It'd be interesting to see or hear some of those stories. But yeah, that's pretty unfortunate, but we wanted to share it nonetheless, and hopefully you guys can finish the trip off. And, for what it's worth, it's made it an interesting story. Not that we're wanting that, not that you would want that, but it's made for an interesting story and trip. And sometimes those are the ones that, we get to hunt and do this stuff for a living, but that's a trip that's going to last with you guys forever for not a great reason, but down the road at some point, it will be one of those like crazy, stories that in 30 some odd years of hunting that just has never happened, other than this one trip. So maybe one day it won't sting so bad.
No doubt. I will say this, it made those next 2 hunts very sweet when we accomplished our goal using nothing but a GoPro and a cell phone. Like Wade and I were pretty ecstatic to kill the 2 we killed, and we were high-fiving out there. So it did add some extra flair to the hunt.
That's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'll let you guys get back to it. It's a short episode, but we want to just kind of break in and hear the story. And I know you guys got places to go and turkeys to kill. So want to get you back on the road here.
All right. Well, we appreciate it. And good talking to you, Matt.
Lock your trucks.
All right, guys. Good luck and be safe out there. And lock your doors.
Or sit and guard it with a shotgun. That's the other option.
That's right. You had one with you. So.
Yes, we did.
All right, guys. I'll talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
All right. Until next time. That's a special edition. And peace out.
DeerCast is completely updated and better than ever. Prep, predict, and pursue your target buck with our detailed maps, weather, and 14-day movement predictor. We're adding new videos every week, so make sure to click that subscribe button and check out all of our amazing content. This episode of DoD TV is brought to you by DeerCast Maps, waypoints, weather, virtual rain gauges, and more. Every tool you need to get ahead of your game.